Hey everyone, welcome to another iteration of Shut Me Up Reviews. This is your Wookie Bandit here bringing you the first impressions of games you may or may not have heard of. As you know, we spend around 10 to 20 hours in a game to garner an idea of at least how it plays so that we can let you know what it's like. I keep saying we, but it's just me. It's Friday, December 16th, and I'm glad you're back for more. Today we're covering a game called Zero Severt, something like that. And a lot of people immediately compare this game to Escape from Tarkov. They're not wrong, but this game is a whole lot more. It's of course based on Tarkov, Stalker, Fallout, those types of narrative-driven or FPS-driven hardcore sims where you've got the attachments and so forth. But I guess it's mostly Tarkov. Anyways, you'll see the inspiration for these games, but it's developed by one person. So if you like supporting indie devs and solo devs themselves, put some money in this little cookie jar. I think you're gonna like it. It's a hardcore top-down pixel art Stalker, Fallout, Tarkov amalgamation of a game, and while we're going into the breakdown, this is how we're going to set this one up. We've got fun additions that make this game great, and we're just going to go about saying that first. Guns and a whole lot more guns, attachments, ammo types, maps, locations, lore, story, and some sound design. Those are going to be kind of quick hits because, well, you'll see. First of all, fun additions that they've got in the game. They've got their food system, so the food itself, food, water, but they impact your carry weight, which is quite huge at the start of the game in the way that you've got a very low capacity anyways, so it reduces how much you can carry, and it also decreases the stamina gain that you have or do not have. Weapon durability that impacts your accuracy, jam potential, and random unjam possibility, you'll see in the clip here. Increased screen field of view with scope, so one really awesome addition, especially for pixel art and something where it's top down, is that your field of view is usually, a box, a square, but then when you've got a scope, if you scope in, it will increase that range, and that changes the way that the AI interact with you or you interact with them. And great AI. I mean, and we'll get to this, but it all makes sense. That's probably the best part about this game. The second thing is that there's constant dev interaction, and you can see if you go to the Steam page, again, linked down below, but you'll be able to go and see that they are, and as a solo dev, they're following through with everything that they're expressing the roadmap is supposed to accomplish. You can see that right now they've got a Christmas event going on, along with some bug fixes that people have already pointed out. Got Discord as well, so if you're going to play it, go ahead and join. If you've played Zero Severt, it's that thing again, or like some of the commentary, at least that we're going to get through, please drop a like, subscribe, or a comment. I mean, it does mean the absolute world to me, and I feel like the little bit of a cookie monster trying to go through, and whenever I see one of those subs, I just get excited. Or see the sub count go up by one. I mean, it's just, there's just something to that. Gratification, right? Immediate gratification. That's the world we live in. If you want to tune in and talk live as well, we play on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and that might transition to YouTube at some point, but that's usually at 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock EST. So keep comments clean in the section below. It's not a place to shit on ideas. Guns, guns, and more guns. I won't say much here. You're going to see the video, but there are a lot of guns here. Each one has its own stat system. They're all very unique. You go blasty blast against everyone. It's good frickin' fun, and that's about it. You've got pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, DMRs, and, anything that you imagine. And then we move on to the attachment system. Yeah, they make your guns look badass, but not only that, they have appropriate stat changes. They make your guns look badass. They've got a value to bring out. And on top of that, you've got limited inventory space, but they cost more or gain more credits every time that you walk out. So it's purposeful. Ammo types as well, purposeful. I think that's kind of going to be a common theme for this game, is that everything has a purpose, and that's really the best part about it. Nothing is just added fill. But ammo types, you bet. You've got absolutely everything there. You freaking bet. Going into Slaughter Wolves for a quest that has one purpose, slap on some HP rounds and go to town. Killing some bandits, better get some BP because you've got some armor pen to wipe the floor with them. Bosses, same thing. I mean, it's great. And the easiest way, just as I was just saying, to summarize the game is that things just make sense. A pack of wolves, ghouls, bandits, you're going to get swarmed if you don't go in the right way. Going with the wrong group of enemies without a plan, you're going to die. Inventory management is simple, but it gets you going back constantly. Games should, in a lot of cases, at least from my perspective, is that things should just make sense. I mean, if you're going into a world that the creators have designed, there are always rules and parameters around that. I mean, you don't add in random things, whole video game logic, for the sake of it not being utilized by the user. That it would be irrational, not only for the user, but also for the game dev. But this game has everything. It just hits the nail with what you would expect from this game, and it delivers. It's awesome. Next, we have maps and locations. There are a few maps currently, and each have their own love. The biomes are unique, even with the pixel art style, and you can easily delineate between the differences of map A versus map B. They each have their own things that you go into to combat those elements. Elements being, it could be anomalies similar to Stalker, or it could be a radiation zone where you've got a quest pickup, but it highly is, it's irradiated, so your character, if going in for too long, could die. You've got these little flame vents that pop out. It's very cool. You can, again, delineate between them, and it's awesome. Each map as well has different types of enemy variety. Bandits, hunters, whether it be those wolves, the boars, they've got unique monsters called blinks, which are very cool. And then you've also got these boss types, which you'll see at the very end. I'm going to save a spoiler for the end, but it's not much of a spoiler. I mean, we're watching this game for the first time, but it is, I guess, a little bit of a spoiler as to enemies that you'll face. So we'll put a disclaimer at the very end for that. There's also a day-night cycle, both seemingly huge on the way that impacts gameplay, and the way that the AI aggro to you or don't. Daytime, they've got a further range, and night, both of you are impaired. Lights may be necessary, and you can really see when a flashlight is turned on. It makes this atmospheric kind of event just while playing. The maps as well are procedurally generated, so each time you go in, there's going to be a variety of ways that you can approach that map itself. Some of it is, copy paste, and you can see where they go, but that's how they implemented it, and it makes sense. It's good. Sound design, well, it's what it needs to be. It's nothing spectacular. It's not overcomplicated. The rain is crazy. The wolves make the howling noise. Enemies are attacking, and in the way that they pounce towards you. Boars is a new addition that just came in. They've got this charging attack. It's exactly what you expect, and it's very, very, again, atmospheric in the way that it presents the enemies and places them in the maps and where you're located. The sound just adds to it, as it should. Lore and story. The developer did a great job with world building. It's a pixel art style. I don't generally play these types of games, but when you do dive into some of the quest descriptions, they're all great. I mean, the characters are strong. There are already some instances where I've done some things that I wasn't necessarily proud of, and it did remind me and made me reminisce a little bit about Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I mean, there were some decisions that I made that actually had me scratching my head, and I love that. I have no idea what's going on for the bigger story, though. I know that there's factions. I know that there's some things that we're progressing, and it reminded me of like Artyom in the Metro series of building up the way people look at you in this bunker. But I'm not really sure what's going on, so I'll need to put in a little bit more time and maybe go back to the start. But again, it's the gameplay that's really got me hooked, and the faction-based system is coming out later. As for quests, there's no shortage, and there's probably my one qualm with the game is that when you do get past some of the main quests, there's just so many side quests to do. Find XYZ, not enough stash space. I found myself going into raids and actually leaving so many items behind just because I knew that I only need to collect a certain few of a certain type. And it was just a lot. It's not like 5 or 10, but sometimes you're collecting 40 of these things. So I guess that's really it. 2 gripes with the entire game, and it's not really even gripes. I would consider this game such a beautiful iteration of what a single person can do, but also an explanation on why purpose is something that should be the main focus of development today. Graphics aren't everything, and it's games like this that make that a testament to be true. But the 2 gripes, inventory and storage system. Some UI changes I'd like. If anyone's played Path of Exile, you've got a nice, easy way to differentiate what stash items and stash tabs are used for. It'd be very cool if you could have that. Or maybe even dedicated storage space for things like tools, and then just have less stash space in general. That might be nice, but it's up to the developer if they want to add something in. At least the color changes would be kind of cool. And I want there to be a stealth mechanic, one where you can pick enemies off with silence weapons, one taps to the head with pistols and or weapons. If there's some sort of, direction if you're behind the enemy and it's nighttime, whatever it might be. You can take an extra 2 seconds or something to lock on and perform a critical shot. It'd be very cool to be able to do that because I just like playing games and putting myself in this immersive kind of Sam Fisher style gameplay. It's just something that I love to do. Anyways, they've got a awesome roadmap ahead with aforementioned factions and a lot of other changes coming, whether it's bug fixes, new maps, and a number of other items. But as a reveal of kind of how I think of this game, if I were to summarize a value that I give it right now, it's a 9 out of 10. I mean, this game it's badass for the price, how many hours you're going to get out of it, and the fact, again, it's an indie dev. So much promise. Well, this is Zero Subvert, Cyvert, Thingy. Still don't know how to pronounce it after how many times I've done this. Go pick it up. At least give it a shot. Tune in on Twitch. Tune in. Say hi in the comments below. Have a good one.